Welcome to a PC United East with Tone Cockrell. I'm here with Nathan Whisman, University of Valley Forge, class of 2025, dual sport athlete, which we'll get into. And it's our first episode shooting with PC United East. So, we're honored to have you on board, Nathan, and welcome.
Yeah, thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
For sure. So before getting into it, want to let everybody know Nathan he's, as I said before, a dual sport athlete. Nathan also is our national SAAC rep, which we'll get into. Nathan's also president SAAC on campus as well. So Nathan's doing a lot of good things, building his resume up, being a part of the campus, the community. So if you're senior, junior high school, and you're watching this episode right now, this is somebody you should be looking up to who's doing a lot of good things on campus.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. So let's get into it. So Nate, you and I, we've known each other a long time. Your freshman year, your first steps to put on campus, first time playing on the court. We got the honor to play each other, the privilege to play each other. My senior year. And it's just been an honor to see you grow, from a freshman on the court to, what you are now, being a leader in our conference, a leader on your campus, and just, building that relationship with you. It's just been an honor. So I just wanted to let you know that.
Dude, it's been amazing. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's get into it. First question, obviously, Division III, we're very unique, right? Just describe your Division III experience. What is it like being, a Division III athlete, and being able to, have that balance between your sport and your academics?
I think the balance is huge. If we look at, the Division I athletes and what they have on their plate, it's a lot different than us at Division III. Division I, in a sense, I always say to everyone I talk to about it, it's their life than anything else, their sport that they're playing. A lot of Division I athletes end up having to graduate in 5 years because they can't take as many classes because of that as well. So when we look at Division III and like what we're doing here, it's so much different as far as flexibility and balance, to the point of you can take 18 credits and still play your sport. Yep. You can still do so many things with that. I mean, me personally, as you said, I play two sports. It gives me the flexibility to play two sports in a way that, and they, in some point, they overlap for a little while too. And I still am able to do that because of the flexibility Division III provides. I mean, with doing that and with academics, it's been amazing to be able to do that. And you can still compete at a high level, which is something that we all care about so much, to be able to compete. We love competing. We can still do that now at Division III in a balanced way with our academics and everything. So it's been an amazing experience for me to be able to do that. I mean, I know probably all athletes within high school are like dying to play college ball, and to be able to have this blessing to play Division III is huge, and be able to pursue, academics at the same time and be flexible and be balanced. It's been an amazing experience in my life.
For sure. And I think, the testament to what you said, I think the stigma is like, we're kind of getting rid of it. There used to be a stigma out there, Division III ball and serious ball, right? And I think over the years, the competition has grown. The field is more respectable, and obviously we've had good competitions, good battles, and we've had obviously our Division III tournament. Look at it, the NCAA tournament, Hampton City, a lot of great teams from a lot of great conferences, just bumping, battling every day, every night. And we also sent teams to the tournament as well. So it's in Penn State Harrisburg. So it's like Division III, we're definitely getting up there. Our competition level is definitely rising.
Yeah, sure, I agree.
Since we're on basketball anyway, talk to me about your season this year. You guys had a nice season. Got a nice playoff berth for our United East playoffs. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I've been here at Valley Forge for about 3 years, and each year has been very different. I've been on many different rosters, and this year we ended up having a new head coach, Coach Dominique Boone. He's a phenomenal coach. He knows what he's doing. He's got the experience, and he came in and he proved that to us. And we bought in, and we do what we needed to do this year. And the record might not show it, but I'm gonna be biased and say this, and I'll take this challenge to anyone. With the record we had, I think that we're the best team in the nation with the record we have. We never gave up. We fought every game. If we were down in a game, I knew we were going to come back. I don't know how, but I knew we were going to come back every single game. We competed with the first team in the conference to the last team in the conference. First team in the conference, we went to overtime with, second team, five
Right.
points, that kind of stuff. So like we know that we could battle whoever we wanted. We didn't care what seed we were in the playoffs. Our goal was to make it, and we did. Now we came up short, but that is such a big growing point for this team and such a turnaround for this team from past years. And we had a great group of guys. I mean, after our season ended, it was hard. We were sitting in
Yes.
that locker room, and it was actually really hard. And that was probably some of the most fun that I've ever had with a team in my life. And it didn't matter who it was. There was no clicks. We could walk in the hallway and it'd be the same. It could be two completely different guys. The same thing. Like it's all love all the way around. So I'm excited for next year. I'm excited to see what Coach Boone's cooking up, who he's going to bring in. He did an amazing job with us this year. I love that guy to death, man. So it's been a great year. Obviously, we came up short, but we know what we can do. We're going to come back and do what we need to do with that, man.
Yeah, for sure. And that kind of goes hand in hand to a conversation we had at our spring retreat with building great programs, right? And it seemed like Coach Boone's coming in and he's laying his foundations. That was a key talking point that a lot of your peers talked about, building those foundations. If you could just kind of go into like what that foundation kind of looks like at University of
Yeah.
Valley Forge for the men's basketball program.
Mhm. I think the first thing is like you have to build a culture.
Mhm.
And with there not being a lot of returners, there was me and about 5, 6 others, I want to say, that returned. And you have to build culture when you bring new guys in. You can't just go up on the floor and just start playing ball and expect things to happen. First of all, we need to realize it's hard to win college games. I know you know that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
hard. It doesn't matter who you play. If you do not come in locked in and ready to play, that's huge. And if you don't have connection and chemistry, then what are you going to do? And that starts with culture. And he came in and we have core values. You may have seen on social media, we always say grad mentality.
yep,
Grad is our core values: G for gratitude, R resilience, A attitude, and D discipline. And we started that. And we had these wristbands, just give you a little short thing. We had wristbands and they had the word grad on it. And what we were doing is we were making it something that's outside of our program and we made it within our community. And every time we saw someone displaying grad mentality, we would hand it out to them and tell them what it meant. And we had to earn them in practice. We would earn the wristbands in practice so you could get more than one. But I think it's that culture that Coach Boone set in us that really brought us together and really did it. And that's what's going to set the foundation. You
yep,
have to have core values. You have to have a culture so that when you step on that court, you live out that culture. And when you live out that culture, you're going to see what's going to happen. It doesn't matter. Any coach can have whatever core values they want, but the culture is the biggest part because that's what makes the love. That's what makes the team build together so that you can go out there and do what you need to do.
yep.
Work hard, have that effort together, trust in each other. Like I said before, we might be down in a game and I can promise you we're going to come back almost every single game because of that, because of how we trust in each other and loved each other and fought with each other through the culture that was established. So that's, I think, one of the biggest things that really benefits that Coach Boone brought in was that culture. And so that's going to keep moving. That's going to keep going through the young guys to the older guys. That foundation keeps going and going and going. Obviously, we're in a sense a new team, new program in a sense because of new coaching, new players. So it's crucial, and that's really what built us up. That's really what brought us from the ground and helped us to do what we needed to do. So yeah.
Yeah, well, shout out Coach Boone for that, right? Shout out Coach Boone building that culture and kind of
Well,
turning around, Valley Forge program and putting you on the uprise. So
mhm.
shout out
Yeah,
Coach Boone.
real. Yeah.
So we touched on a little bit earlier, but we'll keep going in that sense. We talked about basketball a little bit, but as many know, you also do play men's volleyball. So being a dual sport athlete, right? A lot of people, they get to college, they want to focus on one sport, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of, in high school, you have your high school coaches telling you, once you get there, just focus on one sport, balance yourself out, but your hands are full right now, right? You got basketball, you got volleyball, SAAC. Your hands are pretty full. So, what are some of the obstacles you face, and what are some of even the benefits of being a dual sport
Yeah.
athlete?
Well, it's funny, man. I came into college not expecting to be dual sport. Uh,
Okay,
I actually never played volleyball until I got to college in my entire life. I started playing. Coach Kyle came and recruited me, and at first I was hesitant, but it was they started a new program, and volleyball is. I mean, I'm sure all of us remember back when we were younger in high school or something, playing on the grass with 500 people on each side, just hitting the ball around. It always was fun. But like, I always never really thought about like, let's do it competitively. And so he brought me in, he taught me the things I needed to do. And it's been successful. And it's been a huge blessing that I've had during college. So it's crazy to think that happened, but I didn't expect to come in like that. I expected just to come in and play ball and do my basketball and do my academics. But being a dual sport can definitely be challenging in its ways with time. To give you maybe a little bit of a day-to-day breakdown of when basketball and volleyball is in session at the same
Yep.
time. Right now in the semester, I don't have any morning classes, which is nice. I do take a few online classes, so that'll help open up my schedule and things like that. I only have one class a day, so having those online classes help. But once we hit that afternoon, it's rolling and going and going and going.
Mhm.
I mean, we have chapel at 11 o'clock. I got to get lunch real quick. I got to go to class next. Then I got 2 practices in a row. I might not be out of the gym till 10 o'clock. That kind of deal. So it can have those challenging times. But what I encourage everyone to do, especially, and I mean, even people that play one sport, they know that like it takes a lot of your time still. I mean, we talked about it earlier, the flexibility of it, but it still does take your time and you have to be intentional. So I mean, my encouragement to a lot of people is whether you play one sport, 2 sports, I've heard of people playing 3 sports, which that's insane to me.
Yeah.
But you have to be intentional with your time. Like you have any minute of the day is valuable. And we have to recognize that as student athletes. Obviously, it's a student athlete. So student comes first, obviously, whether we want to think that or believe that or not. But being intentional with your time is huge. I mean, I do SAAC president too. So we have to make sure that everyone is able to attend the meetings we have to do those things and to be able to plan around that. We're planning events. We got an event coming up this Monday. So it's all about intentionality. And yeah, I will admit it does get tiring at times, but it's important to still take that time for you to be restful and to be to yourself. And I mean, I'm an extrovert. I love people, but I'll tell you what, when I'm in my dorm and don't no one come knocking on that dorm door because I'm in
Locked
there
in.
myself. I'm locked
Yeah.
in doing my stuff. So it's all about that. And it's about being intentional with your time and also making sure you're enjoying the moment, enjoying your time in college. We can't ever let ourselves get distracted to the point of we can't enjoy what we're doing in the moment. Because I find myself doing that. I find myself not even thinking about it and just going throughout my day and just doing stuff. So it takes time, but it's a blessing in disguise. And I see it so much. And I'm forever thankful for what I have. I mean, I can't believe I only have one more year of it left for being next year, which is crazy. So
I can't believe you have one more year left.
I know, man. It's crazy.
Um, so obviously talking about your 2 sports, and you talk a lot. You talk, in so many words about time management. Making sure you set out some time for yourself. Make it whether if you're in your dorm, just being locked in with your thoughts, or making sure you get a phone call back home to your family. Just setting out some time for yourself. You know, from your freshman year to now, right? How do you see yourself evolve, as an athlete and also, just as a person on campus, as a student,
Mhm.
what kind of tactics have you learned along the way that you've applied that, kind of helps your life for the better?
Yeah. I think for both athletics and just being on like campus is experience. When we talk about athletically, and I'm sure you know this too, man, like when you were a freshman compared to your senior, you knew the game of basketball so
Yeah.
much different. Like, and I look from my freshman to my junior, and I know it's so much different. Or volleyball, freshman, it's crazy how much experience like actually like transforms like your thoughts of your game. So as far as athletics, like time gives you a lot of experience and it helps you really evolve and understand your sport, no matter what sport you play. I'm sure anyone can say that their freshman year to their upperclassmen years is a lot different. So I think that time like really does give you a lot of like experience and it helps you to evolve in those ways. And so as we translate that to being on campus, I think that we all, to some degree, when we first get to college, we're not like, it's not that we're shy, but we're in a sense like really trying to like sit back and just like figure it out.
Yeah.
You have to figure college out in a sense. And once experience happens, once time goes by, you got your rhythm, you got what you need to do next, things like that. And so I think from my freshman year to now, what helped me is I tried to get involved in my freshman year of my school as much as I could. I was a small group facilitator for our chapels. We do a community service day here on campus, and I was a leader for that as a freshman. And those little things really have helped me to evolve and develop as a person. And so from there, sophomore year, this year, of taking time to invest in the school and do the things that I need to do, because personally, it's going to help me grow and help me to learn how to be a leader in whatever I'm doing in my life. And so I think involvement is huge. Now I'm an extrovert, like I said before, so it's easy for me to go out there and just start talking to people.
Right.
Some introverts, it might be harder, obviously, but involvement is huge. Involvement, it will give you experience. It will help you to know what you need to do and to continue growing as a person. So yeah.
Nice. Now, I guess involvement kind of transitions us into our next topic, SAC. You have your hands in many hats, as I said before. Just talk to us a little bit about SAC. What do you enjoy most about SAC?
Yeah.
Obviously, your position. You're now the president, campus SAC. You're part of conference SAC, so you're part of those meetings that we have. You're part, yep, and then you're also a part of national SAC, right? So you're sacked out.
Yeah, I'm here
So,
for it.
what do you enjoy most about SAC? And just we'll start right there.
I think for me, just to give you a little background of our SAC, we have representatives for each sport, and then we also have an executive board. And all of that goes through an interview process with our athletic director, assistant athletic director, and our SAC advisor, and we go through that process. And so my freshman year, obviously, I wasn't involved, but when I came in sophomore year, I interviewed for it, and I actually was able to get a spot on the executive board as the treasurer. And then this year, I'm the president. And I think what brings me a lot of joy in it is being able to, obviously lead, but in my position as president, I want to lead and equip my representatives to be able to lead in their sports. I have a basketball rep. I have a men's volleyball rep. I'm not that rep. I'm the president. So it's different. So it brings me a lot of joy to be able to sit back and watch, especially when I see them on my own team,
Right.
the people on my team, and being able to watch them lead in that way. And so I think it's been awesome to be able to see that and to have those conversations with my executive board and my SAC advisor, and like, what does that really look like? Like how, and we talk about foundation a lot. Like that's where that stuff starts. Like that's where that stuff can really start. Like going to the representatives, trying to equip them to help them to understand what it looks like to lead, and watching them do it. And it's huge. And it's awesome to see, and awesome to see change within the cultures, within the teams, within the records, things like that, man. Like I think that's like the biggest thing that really stands out to me, and I love it. And I love seeing it. I mean, that could help you in any field you're going to in life, learning that kind of leadership and how to equip your, let's just say in the workplace, your staff, like that's going to really, show you what it looks like. And so this is a way to prepare for that, and whatever I go to in life, whatever my calling is. And I think it's huge, and I enjoy it. So yeah.
For sure. Thanks for that insight. And speaking of leadership, you're leading at the highest level, the national level.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about national SAC.
Yeah.
You've had a couple of meetings thus far. What does that appointment look like for you thus far?
I think one thing when I really look at that is, and I didn't even really think about the big picture, but there's like about 30 something of us on the committee. I think it is something like that. And when you think about it, that's 30 people representing thousands and thousands of Division III athletes. And it's a huge thing to see, and it's crazy. And it's been awesome to be able to be involved in that and to really learn, a lot about the NCAA, a lot about what's going on in the ins and outs. Because I'm sure, even our athletic directors, there's a lot of information they might not even know. Like there's a lot that goes to it. And being able to be involved in that and see that has been so much fun, and to be able to lead in a completely different way than I've ever thought I would before. So being able to be that voice for the conference, for my home school, it's just been huge, man. And it's been exciting to be in meetings thus far and to, spread things to the conference. So it's a high level, and it's a lot of fun for me, and it's a lot of time for me to grow in my leadership and grow in my experience as a student athlete as well. So yeah.
And that kind of transitions me to my next question. You're on the roll right now, Nate.
I'm here for it, man. Let's go.
Yeah, you're on the roll right now. So you talk about leadership, right?
Yeah.
You're captain, you're president, you're on national SAC. How do you think just having all that, having all those assets, how do you think that will help you, in your career once, college is over, college basketball is over, college, college volleyball is over? How do you think that will help you in your career?
Yeah. So I guess to give you a little background of what I'm going to school for, I'm going to school for ministry. I'm trying to either go into some sort of youth pastoring or go into some sort of stuff with FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And so within those two realms is a lot of leadership.
Okay.
And whatever goes on, whether it's in, with it's in the church or if it's with other athletes and things like that. Obviously, I have a heart for athletics, so FCA is a cool thing there. So with all of the different leadership positions, it's going to help give me that experience, I really believe, to help apply it to the careers that I'm thinking about going into and things like that. So it's huge, man. Like we talked about SAAC and the equipping, what that looks like, and when that translates to, my career and stuff like that, equipping the students, equipping the student athletes, that kind of stuff. So I think in a sense, it's kind of a perfect transition in my mind to what it really looks like and how to lead. I mean, in college, you're getting some of the real world so that when you get to the real world, it's there,
Mhm.
you're really to help lead in that way. So I think that the leadership positions I have now are just going to help me to lead even more, no matter where I'm at and what spot I'm at. So, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that. And just kind of rewinding back to SAC a little bit. Um, what, obviously being in SAC, you're kind of working with some of your administrators now, right? Because you need their approval, or you need advice, or you need
Yeah.
you need them to help you schedule meetings, whatever the case may be, right?
Yeah.
How being in SAC, especially at your position now, being the president, campus SAC, how have those relationships, um, have grown with just administrators on campus, whether it be your AD, anybody in the athletic department, or just on campus in general? How have those relationships grown?
They're amazing. Our our athletic department and our coaching staff and all of them are very intentional with the student athletes. You know that you can go to your coach and he's going to be there. He's going to be there to listen to
Yeah.
you. He's going to be there for you. So, I mean, I kind of have two groups. I got my two coaches and I got my AD and SAC advisor. When we talk about my AD and SAC advisor, Gretchen Levan, Madeline LaCourse, um, I talk to them every single day, like every single
Yep.
day, about all kinds of stuff. And they are so intentional with me about how are you doing? Are you doing okay? What do you need? Things like that. And whether I need something or not, that means something to me. And that really means something to my heart, that they're there to look for me, to be there for me, and things like that. I mean, as far as my coaches, same deal. They work side by side. Obviously, I'm a captain of two sports teams. So
Yep.
there's kind of side by side action that has to go on right there. So being able to do that too, like they're always checking on me, making sure I'm good, communicating with me. Communication is the biggest thing. I think that's the biggest thing. Whether, with coaching or with being in the athletic administration, like it's huge, and that communication means a lot. But I mean, it's not just them, other coaches being able to communicate with me as well, things like that, like talk to me. Building those relationships is huge. Going out of your way to say hello, like that, just saying that is huge, man. That could like change someone's day. So it's the relationships are amazing, and it's been an honor to be able to be a part of this and things like that as well. So yeah.
And I can just attest to to being a part of SAC. It is definitely has helped me build relationships. I wasn't in SAC, when I was a student athlete, but being on this side of it now, being so heavily involved in SAC, I've made relationships with your SAC advisors, people such as yourself, your peers, to the point where they can text me about advice, or email me, and I can answer their questions quick. And just I guess being in that community of SAC, it helped me build those connections. So I'm definitely with you on that.
So
Um, so let's talk a little bit about somebody who doesn't know anything about SAC, right?
yeah.
You have an incoming freshman, right? What would you say to them? What advice would you offer them, in joining SAC? If they were, walking around a couple of tables and like, hey, like, what is SAC? Maybe I'll get involved. What advice would you offer them?
Um, First, I mean, we talked a lot about time management today.
Mhm.
Time management's huge. I will talk to them about that. And I mean, I'd be willing to even sit down with them and like kind of in a sense, maybe go through my schedule and what the things that work for me and see what can work for them. I think we all have to find our flow, especially as a freshman. You have to find your flow. You have to find your routine, what works for you best, and that kind of stuff. So doing that is huge. I think that for them to sit down and go through the schedule, figure out, what the future looks like for them, especially with classes, especially with sports. I think that's huge. You have to look at your time management. Also, some advice I'd give them too is start building relationships right now. You know, if you're not in SAAC and you're a freshman right now, start building relationships right now with SAAC and with the athletes around you and that kind of stuff, because that's going to be huge. Like that's going to really benefit it. And that's going to, as soon as you step into that role, you're going to be there for it. You're going to already have those relationships. So I think that the time management is huge. I think that the relationships is huge and starting early. There's no point in starting later.
Yeah.
Start right now, do it right now so that you're prepared for the future. So,
Okay. Appreciate that. And I forgot to ask you this, but we're gonna go back to it right now with Division 3 week coming up. Obviously April 1st to April 7th. What plans do you have, Mr. President, for on campus for
yeah.
Division 3 week?
Yeah, so we're planning to do this one event, and we're still in the process of it. We've unfortunately had to move the date, but something huge that we were thinking about doing was this. Doesn't have a name really specific yet, but a community day, and we're actually having to move this to the fall, but we're still gonna involve the part of Division 3 in it and things like that as well. But it's about getting the community together and we're going to have stations for elementary school kids to come by. Each sports team is going to be able to do their own thing, their own little relay race, if you want to call it. That looks like for them. And it's going to be a fun time. It's going to be great. It's a lot of planning. It's a lot of stuff, a lot of details behind the scenes that goes with it. We started playing this in January, and to make sure that we do it well. That's why it's unfortunately had to be moved to this fall. But that was the whole purpose about it too. Like we want to be able to promote Division 3, and as a little kid, I think about my years, and it would have been crazy if I would have been able to go see even a Division 3 athlete. Like, wow, that's awesome. You play college.
Superstars. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you feel like you're freaking famous. Like, so it's really cool for that. But unfortunately, I had to move that. But otherwise, I've got some videos with all of our reps that are coming up. We're going to be posting that and what it means truly to be Division 3 athletes and things like that. Also going to be shouting some other people out through that as well. So making celebrating it through our social media and doing things like that, allowing our SAAC reps to allow their voice to be out there as well and to be able to interview them as well is important. So they're the ones behind the scenes of this SAAC. So let's make it known.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be looking forward to it.
Yeah.
As we wrap up, I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite athlete and how do they inspire you?
Think about this earlier, and I feel that I don't necessarily have a favorite athlete, but one that I really look up to is Jonathan Isaac for who he is. I think he might still be on the Magic. I can't remember if he is, but as I've spoke before, like I have my faith in my God and Jesus Christ, and Jonathan Isaac does that through his athletics in ways that's so amazing. And for me personally, as the athlete that I am, I admire that a lot, and I admire that how he incorporates that within his athletics and things like that. So it's been awesome to see him as he moves, as he writes books and pursues the game he loves in the NBA. Obviously, we'd all love to be playing professional sports, but it's been awesome to see what he does with that and to look up to him in that way. So, yeah.
Yeah, appreciate that. Well, Nate, I appreciate you for joining me today. It's been an honor, like I said already, and I'll keep saying it's been an honor to see you grow, in many facets and things that you do and being on campus, and, just evolving, national SAAC, dual sport athlete, evolving in your sport. So, we appreciate you for being on today. Hopefully we'll get more student athletes on. I don't think they'll be able to top this interview today, but let's see.
Hey, let's keep it 100.
All right, Nate, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir, brother. Thank you, man.